in my mind, I call them hacks. Things like, for example, Makefiles don't technically have inheritance, but you can kind of get something that feels a little bit like inheritance so that you can have a shared sort of base Makefile with a lot of your reusable logic in it. And then you can have a per project Makefile that includes that and overwrites the bits that need to be overwritten, but then it inherits a lot of that shared functionality.
So can I just to interrupt you for a second? What's a Makefile?
Right. Yeah.
I feel like I still don't.
Okay,
I sort of understand where you're going, but I feel like, can we stop and just do a definition?
Absolutely. One of the amazing things about Makefiles is it has dependency resolution in it. It is based on the file system. So if you're more familiar with grunt versus gulp, you can do tons of cool stuff, but pretty much every individual process would read something from disk, do something interesting to it, and then write it back out to disk. And then the next step would read that file from disk, do something interesting to it, and write it back out to disk. Whereas gulp was read the file, modify it, and pass it in memory to the next step. And that would modify it and pass it in memory to the next step. So Makefiles, like I said, are a little bit more old school, and everything is sort of file system based, or that's the intention. And so in your Makefile, you can have let's call them our targets. And you can kind of think of targets in Makefiles as individual scripts, right? So you've got a make script that is compile and another one that's link. And you can call, for example, you can say make link. And if those .object files are missing because you've defined them as dependencies, to be able to run make link, you have to have, foo.o and bar.o. And if either one of those two files is missing, then it will go, okay, well, how do I create that? And you have another script called foo.o. And it says, okay, well, foo.o file is missing. I need to create that. So I'm going to go and run the script called foo.o. And that script runs. And at the end, it outputs a file called foo.o. And then if the same is true for bar.o, then it runs that script. Or if bar.o already exists on the file system, then it skips that step. And then once the dependencies are resolved, then it will run the script you asked for.